All right, I think that's enough of the around the world thing. You all know that every Thursday at 12 a.m. No, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we host the Over Weekly Community Spaces. I'm also live streaming behind the scenes. Usually, I don't have anybody with me, but I do have an amazing co-host, Decentral Chad, aka Brover, and he is here on X Spaces co-hosting with me, and and a really formidable co-host for sure because when we talk about over, it's almost synonymous with 3D mapping or mapping the world. And I know I've said this many times, and I won't stop saying it until the end of 2025. But Brover is actually the number one mapper uh, on the for 2024, meaning he has 3D mapped. He has mapped the most locations more than anybody. And his partner Strawberry is number two. So, go figure, isn't that something? I will talk more about that later. Um, this is really great. So today, when I woke up this morning, I saw an announcement from Over the Reality. I will share it. Rover and I will talk about it. I'll definitely find the long thread and I'll share it so you guys get the stats, especially for you people who are watching on Facebook and on the two Twitch streams and the two YouTube channels that I am streaming on. This episode is really for you. You guys, we consider you guys part of Web 2. If you guys don't know what Web 2 is, look it up. But you are the people that would most benefit from joining Over's DePIN, Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Network, the Map to Earn. It's really easy. You all have mobile phones, be it Android or iPhone. All you do is you're really taking pictures of like 300 square meter locations in the area that you live. And if you are a traveler, or if you are someone that moves around a lot, like in a camper van, or you're just on the road, you're a trucker maybe, I don't know, or you're a legit digital nomad, then this is really for you. So if you guys are watching me on Facebook, my cousins, my family, my friends from since kindergarten, you guys can get involved. Your cousins, your kids, your grandma, it's a whole family affair. So before we get started more on that, let me go to the X space and I want to know how Brover's week has been. Hey Brover, how's it going?
What's up, going, man? When you thank you first for the compliment. I mean, since we started mapping forward reality, we don't know what a Monday is. We don't know what a weekend is. We just choose whenever we work. So we sometimes we ask each other, what day of the week it is, and does it really matter? Over.
Oh my God, that's funny. I was thinking about you guys obviously last night when I wanted to know what the title of this over the reality space was going to be, and I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's bring it back to getting paid to map the world. And then I was thinking, you and Strawberry have been doing this, I guess, since February. Like it's almost been a year now. Next month, I think, since you guys have been mapping, and I want to know how what is the motivation? Because I get there is motivation, but come on, isn't there days when you guys look at each other and just go, nah, not today or not this week?
Yes, exactly, exactly. But you know, it started with me. I started looking up for projects, and I didn't expect really to make money, to make a living out of it. And then I saw the potential, and we tried it out, and then it became profitable. I started in end of April 2024, and then we did it together in the beginning of May, and then we realized what we found. We found the gem. We found the gem, and yeah, it's really nice to work in Web3. When you own land, it's an NFT. People don't realize it. People make fun of people having NFTs. It's not just profile pics that you can screenshot. It's ownership. It's ownership. Well, you don't need a middleman. Don't need to see official people from the country, and anywhere in the world, from uh, from anyone in the world, you can prove the ownership. How great is that? Or
No, I think you brought up a really great yeah, you when you 3D map with your mobile phone, which is really just taking a lot of pictures, and number one, you're actually creating an NFT which you own, and ownership is huge. So for those of you who are listening, I'm specifically talking to people who are watching on Facebook, and people who are really not into Web3 crypto, or augmented reality, Gaussian splatting, like whatever. What the hell is that? I'm really speaking to you guys because I know that a lot of you have heard of NFTs, and sometimes NFTs have had, well, not sometimes. There some there are NFTs that have had a bad rap. Some of you are associating NFTs with like scams and stuff like that, and some of you are associating NFTs with like art, like, oh, it's this thing where people are uploading their digital art and making money out of it. Well, I'm not an artist and stuff like that. No, 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 no. You guys, the world is changing. Everything is going to be wow. This is not the topic, but you just watch out. Things are going to be tokenized. Your real world assets are being tokenized as we speak. Real estate, government IDs, licensures, insurances, like you name it, it's going to happen if it's not happening in the works already. So
it's already happening. It's already happening. Like you can take now insurances and with a smart contract. I mean, it's very technical into Web3, but yeah, you can definitely do it. Insurances where there is no middleman, where you don't need to prove, where everything is automated, when it's confirmable with blockchain. It's really amazing what's happening. And about Facebook, like if you say something wrong, you get banned, or I mean, you can lose all your friends and stuff. But with Web3, not speaking about over reality in particular, but NFTs can be your profile. Your profile. That's just amazing. Over.
That's right. Oh, I love how you jumped in. That's what I want you to do. Jump in. I love this. No, you're absolutely right. I do want to let's do a shout out to Cirrus XR. He's all the way from Dublin. He's tuning in from Dublin. I didn't know you were in Dublin, but I'm so glad. He hosts digital spaces on Spatial. He hosts like I guess workshops, or like learning and educating on actually they have a series called Digital Nomads, and they had one earlier today at 8 o'clock, and they covered the different types of metaverse design and stuff like that. And I would really love for Elizabeth and Sirius XR to kind of like take a look at Over the Reality, see what they can do with the over maps, and maybe implement them in some of their like spatial spaces. Right, Sirius? Anyway, thanks so much for joining, although from Dublin. I know it's not that it's still early. It's still early. I saw you. You were there at midnight at MetaMike's AI workshop. So that was really cool seeing everybody. But no, Brover, you're right. You're right. It's happening right now. Okay, so you all saw, Brover, you saw the latest tweet from Over the Reality, right? The one about.
Oh yeah, so I saw it. And we talked about it today. Strawberry Cake and I. Yeah, 100,000 maps have been done. Yeah, and if we calculate a little bit, we did a little bit more than 10%. So a lot of people are mapping. I mean, we've been farming since May, but a lot of people are jumping in, and even though we did a lot, it's still 10%.
Right? I've heard I saw on the back channels that actually people were commenting on the 100,000 3D map milestone of Over, and in the back channels, you know who you are. They were some people were joking around and saying, yeah, and half of that was mapped by a couple. And I'm laughing. I can definitely pull up the numbers on exactly yours and Strawberry's contribution to the 100K, just personally for you guys, but probably 10% or even less. And you absolutely.
Yeah, it's 5,000. I mean, 5,400 accepted, and Strawberry Cake has 5,200, something like that. So yeah, it's a bit more than 10%.
Yeah. Wow. Accepted. That's important. Approved. That is amazing. Oh my goodness. Okay. And that's just for the year, right? Since they launched. Well,
Um,
less than a year.
yeah, no, yeah. We started in May, so we sometimes some months we've been inactive. Some months, I mean, we did the bare minimum of 350 each, and sometimes we were going as high as I would say 1,300. So we gave it a little bit more than 1,000. That was in the peak. Then there are still people who are doing more than us right now. Like, yeah, to give a little bit of an update, there are two people, two OVR mappers in Asia. I think it's in Indonesia and Bangladesh. I wanted to make a post about it. It's crazy that I checked the average salary in both in those countries. It's between $300, 150 and $300. And if I calculate, these people only doing points of interest, which means those OVR lands are not owned, but Open Reality is interested in having those maps and are paying people for it 90 cents. And yeah, these those two mappers, it's at, around 1,000 maps. So it's between, I would say, 4 and 6 times the average salary. Think about it.
Wow. See, and this is why it's perfect for people who also, who live in those countries. Sure, you're right, Brover. There may not be a lot of owned over maps with high rewards, but you're right. Thanks for bringing that up and reminding me and other people. There are the point of interest maps that still garner some rewards. And when you're talking about earning over tokens and then, like I guess transferring out to USDT or whatever your country's currency is, you're making a lot of money. So kudos to you. So glad you brought that up. Okay, I want to go back to the post only because I'm going to force the people on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube to really understand the over the reality and in comparison to Niantic and stuff. I know you guys read the thread. Some of the statements are pretty bold. I guess they're factual. I would hope they're factual. Numbers don't lie, but then, people fudge numbers. In general, I'm just saying, but it's crazy. So first of all, congratulations to the Over community for reaching the 100,000 approved maps. That is a huge milestone. It is a huge milestone considering it's been going on for, I guess, less than a year. So if you bear with me, and I wish Brover was here with me on the live stream, because then we can share the thing, but I wonder if I'm going to make him. Anyway, let's see. So Over the Reality did reach a major milestone in decentralized spatial computing. I know you guys can read it, but this is for the people who, like I said, I really want to speak to the Web2 people who are watching this and going to watch out later. So think about this. Here's the technicality of it. 30 square, wait, what? A huge thank you to our incredible community of mappers, technical team. And then you have these numbers, 30 million square meters of 3D mapped terrain. Now, this is locations over the world, okay? 55 terabytes of image data processed with AI, with cutting edge AI models. And it's all powered by Over the Reality's DePIN, Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Network, which is mapped to earn. And this is like all over the world. This is like huge. So here you go. Before, the average maps was 400 maps a month to now 100,000 in just 1 year. So last year, it says here they were doing 400 maps a month, and now we're up to 100K and, blah, blah, blah. So here's something really interesting. You know that I've already said that it occupies 55 terabytes of data. They're using 40 GPUs running the AI algorithms. Think about that. I mean, I know it's just numbers and letters to you guys, but if you guys are out there in the AI sphere and you understand like the graphical, process, whatever GPUs, you're going to go, holy shit. So 40 of those are running the AI algorithms, and that is huge. So here they go again. Here's the numbers, guys. This is like a thread too, I believe. 30 million, like I said, square meters of real world terrain, 50 million photos, 50 million photos of captured by mappers. Again, the 55 terabytes, and they put in here 100% high traffic areas covered. So let's go on to saying something that this is the one I like, thread number 3. Now, when you're comparing Web 3 versus Web 2 data, here it is. I know that since we've been having these weekly over community spaces, it has been brought up that when you talk about Google and Niantic, they're formidable competitions to over the reality. They're really not. They're not. I mean, they do 3D mapping and stuff like that. And now Niantic has gotten into like the Gaussian splatting and the visual positioning, when before it was the geolocation positioning. I know I'm screwing that up, but they are not on the blockchain, and they do not. When you 3D map, when you generate a 3D map on Google and or Niantic, you are not creating NFTs. Whereas over the realities 3D maps are on the blockchain, and you are creating NFTs and ownership. And Brover and I can talk about more on why you would 3D map and what would you do with your NFTs. But so here's the thing, okay? No Web3, first of all, no Web3 project comes close to having the largest 3D maps in Web3. And it even says here, even Niantic, if you don't know Niantic, you know, you've been playing Pokemon Go, or even prior to that, Ingress. So even Niantic is the only Web 2 player at this scale, Web 2 player, not Web 3. But not all maps are created equal. So here we go. So the navigation, it says here, navigation, and then they're comparing Google to Hive Mapper. Now, you know, if you haven't heard of Hive Mapper, they're also kind of like, I don't know, 3D mapping or scanning the world, but you would have to buy like a device where you put on your car and you drive around and you map out the streets, okay? So here's the thing. For navigation, which is Google and Hive Mapper, it's very sparse data. You're only collecting between 5 to 10 photos within a 300 square meter area. And it's really just basic routing or routing, like the routes of like hologo navigation. Now, when you're talking about AR and digital twins, which Over and Niantic, which Over has been doing and Niantic is now known for, you're talking about 300 to 1,000 photos within 300 square meters, within less than 5 centimeter accuracy for augmented reality, real-time twins, and machine perception. Whoa, there's so much more going on. I thought I saw something here. I want to go back. I know they compared something to Niantic, but you know what? I'm just gonna stop. I'm going to pin the thing. But Rover, can you let me see if I could pin it? I'm gonna pin it.
Yeah.
Can you pin it?
I just wanted to add something.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that when you connect to a mobile app or to a website, you don't do it with your email address. That's Web3. You connect with your crypto wallet, which is 100 times better, because the probability of being hacked is reduced. And this is a huge improvement compared to anything Web 2. Over.
Yes, absolutely. I love that you brought that up. You're so right. You're absolutely right. Huh. Okay. So I did pin that thread. I'm not going to go. I thought it was going to be a great idea to read it. I just read basically the gist of the main numbers for those of you who love data, but it's really out there. Please do take the time to look through it on the thread. And for you guys on Facebook, I don't know, like DM me or something, or go over to X. I know a lot of my friends on Facebook and family, they're not on Twitter X. So I don't know. I'm just going to have to send them the link. Anyway, let's go back to mapping the world. So, okay, Bover, I know you have done a number of tutorials, a number of really great, detailed, really amazing like tips and tricks for mapping. And I know Elias and a few, well, not really a few, maybe 1 or 2 other people have, but I'm really loving the fact that your tutorials really do a deep dive in terms of how to perfect the mapping. And I know it's very, very helpful. So what I want to know from you is, and I know I've asked you this question before, but I'll ask it again. If you were to speak to someone to ask to try to get them to join Over's Map to Earn DePIN or Map the World, how would you say it?
Well, the thing is, it's like when you start a new video game. You don't want to spend too much time doing the first tutorial, where it's very basic. You know, when you start a new FPS game, start crouching, start running, interact with this. You just try it out and see how it works. Yeah, of course, you're gonna have a lot of failure on the way, but you're gonna see what it requires of you. If you wanna go through the tutorial, go through it. But I would say just get started. It doesn't take much. Of course, you will need a crypto wallet. You will need to create your account. It is the basic stuff. And just take your smartphone, just check the map, go out and start visiting some stuff. Start visiting and open the app. Just running around. And seriously, the tutorial that's included in the mobile app, it takes like, I would say, 30 seconds max. And you know, it's really fun to do. You start doing your map and you're wondering how it's gonna look like. And myself, when I tried it out, I was so surprised by the result. I just started mapping just in the neighborhood, and then when I saw what it did as a result, it was mind blowing. And that's all the reason why I want to continue. The result is so impressive with the AI.
Oh my goodness. You know, that's one thing I want people to get across. I wanted to get across to people, and you kind of like nailed it, because it kind of like seems too technical. So if I were to like pretend I didn't know anything about Over, and I heard about this deep mapping thing, and I'm like, okay, what? I got to download this app. No big deal. I got a 3D map. Okay, let's try to look at that. And I saw the tutorial, and I don't know, like for some people, there could be that barrier of once you see the tutorial and you see all these grids and you see this like geometry. And for those of you where geometry was not your thing, in literally geometry is a trigger for people. Once you see like, you know, like these geometrical shapes and stuff, and you're like, nah, I'm out of here. It's too triggering. But I love the fact that when you actually go through this apparently 30-second tutorial and the results you got, you end up with was a wow factor, even for you. So I mean, I know, like just that alone. So I'm not like you and Strawberry, or else I would be mapping as well. I kind of want to know what why what is it what's the difference between you and Strawberry and other people who are not mapping, other than I mean, the comparison would be they know about the 3D mapping, but what is that? What's that gumption? What's that motivation thing?
Oh, I think it's the ADHD. The fact that I can do one thing for hours and hours, the same thing over and over again, and I get my dopamine shot. And the fact that I'm a gamer, so there is this gaming thing where you have to act in a certain way to have a great result in the end. So you're winning every time you are using your phone. I mean, we're using our phone anyways. You know, when you're mapping, you are staring at your phone, but you're busy, you're working, and you're having fun at the same time, and you're visiting, you're traveling. That's what got me. And yeah, the fact that you can be in your bubble and walking around, and the fact that, you know, I'm also a gym guy, and I like to work out a lot. And the fact that you are outside, you are walking, you are respecting some type of methodology. I love that, because you are in the zone. You know, when you're doing map after map after map, you don't see time that's flying. I'm just going from a place to another, and yeah, it's just so enjoyable for me. A little bit less for Strawberry Cake, but I like to have, by doing that, my mind is kind of clear, you know. And the fact that I'm working for a project that is so tied up with what I'm passionate about, which is Web3 and the crypto world in general, DeFi. The fact that it's so tied up to it's so enjoyable.
Okay, these points are really interesting because it's very important when you're a company, and this is like marketing 101, dudes, guys. Like hello, like knock knock knock, take note. Somebody a certain company. Um when you have a product or anything, you got to find that your target audience. And then you have to and not just you got to find that demographic, that target audience, and then you have to define your ideal, let's call it customer, or the ideal personality that would really gravitate to 3D mapping. And I love what you said, because these are truths, right? Because you see it in the numbers. The numbers don't lie. Oh God, like okay, let's say July of last year, I think Over went and did a second opportunity to get more 3D mappers, except the position they put out was for content creators, and they put that on a Web3 platform for Web3 jobs. Now, everybody know, well, okay, maybe you don't know, but a lot of people are looking for Web3 jobs where they can work remotely, be it to promote, to shill your product on Twitter, engagement farming and all that stuff. And this really, yeah, it pissed me off, because number one, the title of the job description, content creators, that's a huge umbrella. And that's like, oh my God, content creating, I can content create, I can make videos, I can do images, I can create articles and stuff. So we had a plethora of people, of applications. But guess where those applications were from? They were from Africa, India, like Asia. And sure, back then, the point of interest for rewards wasn't announced yet, but we had so many people who wanted to be content creators to work remotely. And once they saw that, what? We have to walk outside, and what? And they asked for salaries, like it's crazy. They asked for 5,000 US dollars a month. And you saw people who there were some people from the US who had like 12-year, 20-year marketing strategy experience. Like there was one guy from New York, and he wanted to be a content creator in Web3. And then I had to speak to him, and he's like, oh no, no, no. So that really was insane. Now, I must say, we did get about 80 people from that first batch of content creators, per se. And they did understand that they had to use their phone to 3D map. But here's the snafu. Number one, in a lot of those countries, they used Android phones, Oppo, OPPO. And certain Oppo models could not download it's now called the Google Play Store AR Core Kit. So here's the thing. They signed an agreement. They were all ready to go. They got their phones. They had a hell of a lot of trouble trying to even access the 3D map. And they're like, oh, by the way, you have to download the Google, the AR Core Kit. Here's the link. Oh, they had issues. So it was a fucking shit show. I'm going to be honest. And so now we lost like all that 80 because like, I don't know what they were thinking. Maybe they thought it was and a lot of those people from Singapore, Indonesia, and all that stuff, they were gung-ho mapping. However, a lot of the areas that they were mapping, they got in trouble. They could not bring their mobile phones. Security was on them. And we had a handful of people asking Over the Reality to write like a record of employment or some kind of document saying, yes, I work for Over the Reality and this is what I'm doing. And I think we did that for one or two people. I'm not sure, but they've stopped mapping. So it's like, I don't know, the planning and the strategy, I'm just saying it, getting these air quotes content creators to 3D map was a huge failure, a huge mother failure. So then I see people like Elias, Arhexa, then you, Brover, and Strawberry, and you guys are like going at it. And then there's more people going, they're just not active on socials. So what I want to understand is I want to create, let's create that actually that perfect a 3D mapper person, and you mentioned it, ADHD, hyper focused, gamer, like fitness, like all those things, like that has to, and of course that's not, you know, you don't have to necessarily fit that mold. But in terms of, if you want to like get someone that's going to be mapping 5,000 maps, 5,000 approved maps, like within 9 months, then that would be your perfect 3D mapper. And for sure, there's got to be more Brover and Strawberries and LAs and our hexes out there.
Right? I would say, you know, if you want to, so the content that you're creating is mainly the maps. So you got to be on the road. That's, if I understand, that's what people didn't get. So to those people, you know, you can still have your 9 to 5 job, your original job, and during the weekend, just try it out before wanting to jump into the content creator program, because you can work without it. So I would say try to reach 350 and see if it's something that fits you. Worst case scenario, you've been busy for like 4 or 5 days. Like for us, this month we reached a target of 350. I think I did 400, a little bit more, in like five days of work, and it's really not a biggie. You can do this between the weekend, and you still have a lot of days off, even though you have a full-time job on site. And worst case scenario, you made between 400 and $1,000 extra. What's the worst that could happen? Just try it out. Over.
Whoa, just try it out. No, it's true. Okay, aside from the rant and the negativity that I just did a while ago, but those were factual and true data from my experience from onboarding these people. The positive part is what Brover just said. Just try it out, see what it's like. He's right. He's absolutely right. You don't have to do this full time. You can do it on the weekends. Bring your family along, or it's and just see what it's like. And the positive and the advantage is you will get over tokens that you can trade over to whatever crypto or fiat you would like. You know what I mean? So absolutely. Okay, so then I woke up and I knew that we had this over the reality space, and I knew that I wanted to feature like the 3D mapping and you guys. And I was like, so what's wrong with me? I'm HDHD, ADHD. I like gaming. Am I just a really lazy person? But you know what I was thinking? I was thinking, man, no. I'm just going to say this, and it might help some people. It might like deter people from mapping. I don't know. But transparency for me is, in the city that I live in, I'm not excited to map any location. Like there's nothing exciting unless I want to map the whole side of the Saskatchewan River, which like it's not even a point of interest. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna have to buy that. So I'm the only one who owns overlands in the city, in the very small city that I live in. I think there's one other person, and they own like 3 locations. And but if I was living in my hometown, Toronto, where I should be, oh hell yeah, I would be out there mapping everything. I would go down to the beaches, I would go up and down, like, I mean, everywhere in Toronto, GTA proper, like everywhere in the city. I know that like the back of my hand. I would be there mapping everything. And I know Swavery is down there. Shout out to Swavery, and he's been mapping parts of Toronto, parts of Mississauga, just Casa Loma and stuff like that. But because I'm legit a Toronto city girl, I was thinking, oh my God. So for me, the location that I'm in is deterring my motivation. That's just me. And if you know, in the province that I live in, you can probably fit like 50 European countries. I'm kidding, but I'm not. So like to map, like, so I don't know, it's weird. It's really weird. Like Canada is such a huge landmass, but it's fucking like it's huge. Whereas in Europe, it's a landmass with so many different cities and cultures and countries all in one, like, you know, like a smaller landmass.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Imagine that you wake up in Amsterdam and you just hit the roads after less than 2 hours. You are in Belgium. Then if you drive a little bit more, you are very quickly after another 2 hours, an hour and a half. You are in France, and if you drive a little bit east, you are already you pass through Luxembourg. And then very quickly you are in Germany, Czech Republic. You can do 4 or 5 countries in one single day, and everything is close to each other. So it's really great. But as a mapper, you can even take a monthly rental. That's actually also a really good idea. You just take a monthly rental in a big city. It's gonna cost you some bucks, but you're gonna make it up in just a few days. And there are enough maps, OVR lens to map in every big city in Europe. And you just hop from a city to another every month to change your location, and you can make a very great living out of it. And at the end of the road, you have a big bag of crypto or fiat as you want, and you will have visited a lot of countries, So
And that's the thing. Europeans, you guys have it. I mean, you guys, in terms of locations for 3D mapping and the areas you cover in like a short amount of time, you definitely have the advantage. However, I know that in Asian countries like like Thailand and Singapore and Korea, oh my goodness, and all that stuff, there's also oh my God, there's so many key locations as well. And also the US. Like, okay, we have people here in Miami. We have Vanessa, Tech Mental, Miami alone. I think, oh my God, Maor, I think he mapped all of Miami already, all the beaches and stuff like that. I don't even know. But you have Miami.
Oh yeah, he's a legend.
He's a legend.
He's a legend for mapping all those beaches. But I mean, I come back to what you said about Europe. You can do the same in the US. I mean, I don't think that national flights are that expensive in the US. And in Asia, seriously, especially Southeast Asia, there are a lot of places to map, and you can have a really good itinerary. And like if you wanna go through a country, you can just hire a private taxi for 50, $100. I don't remember the prices. It depends on the location. And you can just go with your backpack and have a chauffeur bringing you to different places. I remember at key locations in the city, you can have your own taxi and pay the guy 10, $15. I would say for 3 hours, or having someone for the entire day for $50. Like you don't even need your own transportation. It's that easy. So for a backpacker, for a digital nomad, it's ideal.
Wow, that idea. If you're traveling in Asia, you definitely can do that. You definitely can hire like your own like pedicab or taxi or whatever they use.
And they have their own SUVs, and you are in luxury. For the money you make out of the maps, you can afford it. You definitely can afford it.
Oh my God, that's so true. Now I know with the U.S., that's a whole different story. But no, you're right. Like countries like not countries, cities like Chi-Town, Chicago, San Fran. I don't know. I was gonna say L.A., but San Diego. Like there are cities. Seattle. Oh my God, Seattle. The whole park market, like everything. There are cities in Philadelphia. There are cities in the United States that are begging to be mapped. I don't even think New York City isn't even, oh my God, all the overlands in New York City. I would love to know. I would have to look at that data. What's the percentage of owned overlands in New York City that have been 3D mapped? I don't even think it's
nothing.
A lot.
It's basically nothing.
That's insane.
But I'm going to tell you a story of when we were in Barcelona. I was mapping, and a Chinese lady was walking around and looking at me weirdly, and she really was interested in what I was doing because she was traveling a lot. And I told her, excuse me, but you are a Chinese national and you don't know it, but which country? It's not Shanghai. Is it Shanghai? I don't remember the city where Mao or the Mao monument is. this is basically a gold mine, or maybe Dubai, But for this particular case, and in China also, there's not much that's being like. I saw some maps, but not that much, and it's begging to be mapped. It's begging. Also in India, what's the name of this Taj Mahal? Also, it's begging to be mapped, and I don't think it would be very expensive to stay there. Yeah, Singapore too. And like you said, yeah, there are private properties, but there are also parks that need to be mapped. So many places are great, and are still waiting to be mapped. There's still so much to do. Oh.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. There's so much. It's just the tipping point. It's not. There's just so much to map. And I know, like this whole 100K milestone, it's fantastic. But when you're really thinking about it, if you're thinking about how many people reached that, it took to reach that 100K, and what are the top like 5 people and how much they did for their contribution, it's nothing. It's not a lot. So you got to kind of wonder. So I would love that initially the strategy for getting 3D mappers is really to do a targeted I guess first of all country by country, and really understand like what locations are in a certain country or specifically a city, and then target that. Please don't, just because there's a web, just because it's web 3, just because it's web 3, and you put out a job description saying content creators, and you're not even putting 3D mapping and really outlining that you got to freaking go outside and all this thing and all that stuff. It's really a waste of, it's just a waste of time and money and effort, really. I'm always a believer of targeted, like strategic targeting, like whether it's even ads and stuff like that, because you'll get more bang for your buck and more ROI, and you will be best assured that the eyes that are going to see the DePIN or the map to earn are the people most likely to have a higher percentage of joining, because you took that time to develop a strategy to really reach the right people that not only will want to 3D map, sees the value of it, and did they and number 2, yeah, will be pretty much your evangelists, and not only will they see the value of it, it's like a win-win for everybody. That's what I'm just proposing. I don't know. We've been proposing that for so long, but I don't know what's going on. Knock
Hey,
knock.
Carmen,
Yes.
LM Design is there.
Oh, is she? I don't see her
Let's
as
give her the
is she a
mic.
speaker?
No, she isn't, but let's give her the mic to keep some
Oh
good vibes.
yes. LM. Go bring her up as a speaker, Brover. LM.
I just sent an invite to speak.
All right, all right. Oh, and by the way, anybody, come and join the conversation. If you're a mapper, join. If you're not a mapper, join and ask questions and stuff like that. I do want to do a shout out to G is Us. He's I met G is Us about 2 years ago. I know he's out in Van City, in the west coast of Canada, British Columbia, the province of. He says here, he's on Twitter. I mean, on YouTube. He says, I need to get going on Vancouver lower mainframe. Yeah, you do. There's so much to map in Van City, the lower mainland area. And then while you're at it, jump on that boat or that thing and go across to Victoria. Do that, G. What's stopping you, man? There you go. Is she on? LM, are you able to join? It would be really great if you did. Let's see, who do we have here? Okay, we have MetaMike. Hey, Vanessa, Honeycomb, we have Hexadize, Era, Techmental. Hey, Silent Dave, Alex, our head of community. Woohoo! Thank you for joining. Yes, Sirius XR all the way from Dublin. Thank you so much. We got Zoo, Alex Zoo from H-Town. Oh my goodness. I want to know if he can come up. I'm gonna send him a mic. We have Swavery, we have Alicorn, and of course we have Strawberry. I want to bring up Alex Arzu. He is a 3D AR creator out in Houston, and he's really been doing a lot for pushing like digital twins and merging. In fact, he found out about over maybe 2-3 years ago, and he started like developing it, and like he has these huge murals on the in H Town in Houston downtown, where I think he's even done them in AR. I know Hexadize would know, but I want to know, Alex, if you're able to come up, we would love to have you to hear about you. Have you been doing any mapping since? Would love to know. I don't know, Brover. I think LM Design, she could be. I think this is a time where she's like with the kids and en route to somewhere. I know.
It's okay. It's okay. I can feel the vibe just by having a presence here.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. Okay, so yesterday we had Scanny. No, yesterday. What are you talking about, Carmen? Last week we had Scanniverse show up. Yay, Alex!
Hey, thank you for having me.
Hey.
I've been working on a bunch of different projects. Yeah.
Oh, we know you have. How have you been? Like, first of all, how's Houston? Did you guys get snow? Yeah, you did.
Crazy. It was crazy. Yeah, I haven't seen snow set on the ground here for any amount of time. So it was crazy to see. My son played in the snow. He enjoyed it. It was cool. It was cool.
Okay. Wait, Alex, I want to know, like, can you tell people some of the projects that you've actually done on Over the Reality?
I've created a few AR experiences where I've created a character that I've had in Blender, and then I have the augmentations on different locations in Houston. And then I've also got, I want to say, 2 murals in downtown Houston. One is off of Congress, and one is off of Main, where I've painted 2 murals, and then I have augmentations of the mural on those walls in those locations. So one of them is at Lyric Market, and it's kind of like this plaza, and it's got this form from the parking lot that extrudes in a glass, and I put a mirror. It's just pretty tall. It's probably about 4 feet up, and then I have a mural of sharks swimming in gold. And then, so I have those, since I created the actual models in 3D in Blender, I used those as my references to paint, and then I animated those references and used that as a over experience. So that's the one that exists there. And the other one is off of Congress, and it was done for a street art competition. It's international, so it's probably been in your city. It's called Street Art for Mankind. They do massive walls in cities around the world. And I did one maybe about 3 years ago. And it was like some puzzles and eyes. And then I augmented, and then I augmented that. And then since that time, I've really been working in the Unity SDK space, trying to get some more programmability to my augmentations. That has put me on pause for a while as far as uploading augmentations. But I've been working so hard in the background, learning visual scripting in Unity. That's like not really my thing, or the thing that I know, but I've been spending the last like year and a half really strong learning visual scripting. And then right now, it's raining here in Houston, and I'm working on a basketball court. And I'm going to be was trying to place some bids so that I could purchase the basketball court and see if I could actually do an overlay of my design on the basketball. I don't think it's going to work, but we'll see. I'm just going to give it a try. And if not, then I'm probably just going to just have some augmentations just to it's a community project for Sugarland, Texas. And it's right behind Imperial Sugar. And they are wanting to commemorate this community that sits in a very unique location on the topography of this land, and these people have been there since emancipation of slavery. So it's got this very rich history, and I'm going to be doing a basketball court for it, and then I'm also going to be augmenting it, so that will be coming soon. So yeah.
Oh my God, that is like amazing. So have you How much 3D mapping have you done, if you have?
I've only done like 3 locations of like a few areas. I'm gonna be honest. I have not felt like, just because of the amount of time that I have been spending, trying to learn the programmability of what I'm trying to do. Like, I feel like going out mapping is would take so much time. So from what I'm trying to also do, so it's kind of like I don't even know kind of how to make that decision sometimes. But I am, for I guess, for more accuracy's sake, I'm wanting to map more of the locations, especially the ones that I own, so that I can see, so that I can kind of place things a little bit better. And I've got like different ideas for other projects, so I just kind of want to be able to see how much I can trust the pinning of locations, and have the augmentation kind of not slide around or things like that. So that's kind of what I'm with right now.
Oh my God, you know what? That's true. Like, do you know how many overlands you actually own in Houston?
I probably over like 25 or so.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I know that, man, you know what I would map? I would map Herman Park, Memorial Park. I would map Rice Village.
Yeah.
I'd map all along Maine from the downtown all the way down to like when it kind of like intersects Fannin. I would map San Jacinto, that whole, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I
And
know exactly.
Montrose,
Those perfect, yeah, mapping place spaces. Yes.
the whole
Yes.
museum district. And what's
So,
that convention center by the Hilton Americas? Is that called the George something? What's it called again?
yeah, the George R. Brown Convention Center, and they got Discovery Green across the way.
Yes.
That would be my first go-to place because it's very walkable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very walkable.
And around the Staples Center. That's the Staples Center. It's still called Staples Center, right?
No.
Is it called Sony? What the hell is it called now?
I remember now, but it hasn't been called that in a while yet.
Really?
But yeah.
Or the Reliant. Is the Reliant still called Reliant?
Correct. Yeah. Okay. And I do have one property, digital property out there by NRG Stadium. So.
Wow.
One like Toyota Center. Toyota Center is also one that there's a park across the street.
That's what it is. That's not Staple. It's Toyota Center. Duh. Yeah. It's Toyota Center. I know I own a few overlands at the entrance of the Toyota Center, but somebody bought up like 4 years ago, 3 years ago. I wanted to like check the Toyota Center, and somebody literally bought up the whole, like the insides of it mostly. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, I saw that.
Like, that's insane. I'm so glad you got to come up, and I'm so glad you're actually working with Over the Reality and getting more deeply involved with augmented reality and using Over's what is it, visual positioning to get your art positioned, digital art positioned into the real world. That's amazing.
Thank you. Ever since I heard about it, I've been hooked. So I'm on it pretty much every single day, even though I don't post too much about it. But yeah.
No, I hear you. Creators are creating, right? They're not so much. I mean, I know we have creators here who are creating and then they take time to be on spaces, but literally they're on spaces, but they're just listening, but they're still deep in their pixels and moving things around and stuff. So I really appreciate you. I appreciate you for joining in 2023 the Over Summer Creator, what did we, a series. So thank you for joining that and being part of that. That was really exciting. And we also had Cyber Nerd Baby and a few other people that I think we had LM Designs as well. I'm not even sure. Anyway, I do hope, like, you know, Alex, your family or friends or your network, maybe you could share like what Over is, the 3D mapping aspect, and then get them to kind of like also 3D map. I don't know.
Yes, I have been talking to a lot of my close friends, but it almost seems like when I guess like I'm speaking over everyone's head almost every time I bring up, crypto or even augmenting space, and like whenever I'm speaking of these things, it's like people feel so overwhelmed. So I do plan on I do plan on making that part of what I'm kind of putting on social media. Maybe some just quick little tips of how to use these tools or how I'm using these tools, and maybe start there. But I know I'm overthinking all of those things now because I've been kind of thinking about that for a while and haven't really put that energy towards it. But yeah, I'm absolutely in adopters picking it up because I'm excited about for what I see geographically with over and talking about the ownership aspect. I have been keeping up with like Geospatial with Google, and which one was the other one? Probably not important enough for me to remember, but so like just checking out what they're doing and seeing like how their platforms work with the augmentation, and kind of how difficult it is to get from here to there. And for me, over kind of still seems to be the simplest platform if you're wanting to get into AR and not having to deal with all the pre-setup work. That's kind of why I'm still rooting for it.
Oh, that's great. And someone who is so deep into digital content creating and art. I love that you actually pointed out that Over is like a really easy platform to use based on your needs and what you're using it for. And I know there's a lot of content creators who are dabbling in or already in augmented reality and geospatial, like putting their AR content over the physical world. And your testimonial means a lot. It really does, especially because you're in the weeds doing it.
Cool. You're absolutely.
I really appreciate it. I really hope I get to see you. I know that Hexadize and the AR Wonderland team, they're going to be down by Southwest. Come on, H-Town and Austin. Austin's like a 3-hour drive. I don't know, did you meet Hexadized already?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, that's right. You guys are with that music fest. Damn. Okay. We'll meet him again.
Toronto. I might be going up that way soon, or Saskatchewan even.
Are you serious?
In both places. I've been working with this artist from Toronto. His name is Jarvis for the past maybe like 4 years, and I'm just due to go up there. And he's from Saskatchewan. But
wait a minute. DM me his name. I think I might know him, but if you're gonna come to Saskatoon, that would be, oh my God, that would be amazing.
Yeah, it's in the works. It's all in the works. I definitely am interested and want to visit those landscapes you're talking about.
Well,
that is a testimony of as well. So it seems like just a beautiful.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Oh, Alex, that's really great. You guys, it is already an hour. I'm so glad you got to come up. If you're not following Alex, please do. Please follow his journey into AR, especially using over the reality. Yeah, I mean, Brover, I know we went way over last time because Scanniverse came up. We were so pleasantly surprised, right?
That's true, but it was amazing. It was amazing, and a lot of people got excited because they were using of the app Scanniverse.
That's so true. That is so true. But let's do the hour, let's do the hour and respect people's time. I know I got some stuff to do, and I'm also got like these ideas. I got these ideas, man. Before we go, I want to do a shout out to MetaMike. MetaMike, thank you so much for hosting the AI workshop last night. A number of us were there. I saw that there were like 16 people who attended, and it was really great. I really liked the walkthrough where you can actually start your AI assistant. So for those of you, please follow MetaMike if you want to learn about AI assistants and creating it. We're going to be creating it in OpenAI. If you do want to, you need your own API key. It's only like $5 US. So, MetaMike can walk you through it, but it's really a great opportunity. I know Cirrus XR was there, TechMental, Era, Vanessa was there. Who else was there? I guess that's it, but there was so much more. Anyway, Brover, is there anything else you want to say about getting paid to map the world?
Let's do mapping. Just try it out. It's gonna take you like an hour maybe, and in the end, you're gonna make maybe a little bit of crypto. What's bad about that?
Yeah, that's true. And it's so amazing because if people it now is your chance to get into crypto. You don't need to buy Bitcoin and stuff like that. You can just join over, download the app. Not only that, you're hitting like three major things. Number one, you are obtaining over tokens, crypto. Number two, you are helping map 3D map the world using one of the emerging innovative technologies, which is Gaussian splatting, in addition to part of AI, artificial intelligence. And number three, you're helping build out the Web3 infrastructure for a geospatial platform. So if you guys are just Web2 and you're just sitting there and you're like, well, I heard about crypto. I don't know how I can get in, or I don't know this AR, AI. I don't know. This is how you get in. It's so simple. It is the simplest thing. And if you're watching on Facebook, oh my God, I'm not even on Facebook. What am I talking about? Okay. If you're watching on Facebook, I promise I will check my messages. DM me or whatever you call it, message me on Facebook. And if you want more information, I will give you the information. If you are on Twitter or X or, DM Brover, he knows a lot. DM Brover, DM me, I'll connect you with Brover or whatever. But just so you know, I have an onboarding document that I created to onboard these air quotes content creators. It actually walks them through everything. Like if you have an iPhone, you have to download this AR core kit, and here's the link to make sure the model you have is actually it can enable the AR. Like I have this whole thing. What I would love to do, Brover, is I'm actually going to expand that onboarding document to include your video tutorials, because we all know if it's video tutorials to easily onboard people, like we've been asking for that. And it's, once again, the community has been really shout out to Elias and you, Brover, and if I think it's just one other person who was really from the community who's really helping people like with the tutorials. I know Mert, shout out to Mert. He's part of the Over team, and he's been doing tutorials like in the Telegram Over SDK group, in addition to Discord and stuff like that. And that's really great.
Oh yeah, great guy.
Great guy. Great guy. No, real, yeah. He really, he works so hard. He does so much. It's crazy. But yes, yeah. If you don't,
and about this the content creator program, you don't even have to do it if you want to start mapping. Just start it out by downloading the app and trying to do some maps. Like I don't know if you saw, this month was some kind of keynote of Samsung for the latest Samsung S25 Ultra.
Yep.
If you think about it, I mean, who's going to pay $1,500 for a phone? But with all the reality, it's possible. You just have to work for like a few weekends, and it's paid off. I mean, I did post about it a few months ago. Like, if you want to have the latest smartphone and you want to make get the money back or make a little bit of money, start using your phone to make money out of it, and have the latest smartphone in the meantime.
Oh my God, that's exactly true. You're right, guys. If you didn't hear that, Brover literally went and he got paid to map the world, and he bought a new Android phone. Yeah, and supposedly this new Samsung phone, everybody's calling it the iPhone killer. Whatever. It is like, I don't know. I haven't really delved into the tech part, but technology is like amazing. But yeah. Just what Brover says is just do it. Just 3D map. Download the Over the Reality app on Android and iPhone. Download it, over OVER, the reality, and go through it. You'll see the 3D mapping part. Click on it at the bottom. I think it's the second from the left icon. Click on that and go through the tutorial. Play around with it this weekend. Do you know what I mean? All right. So let's do it. Let's end this. Thanks everybody for joining. Brover, go ahead and close it off for us.
Thanks everyone for joining, and see you next week. It was amazing.
Yes. Okay. Bye-bye, everyone. Ciao, ciao. Ba-ba. Shout out to G. Thanks for another great show. Thanks, G. Hope I get to see some 3D maps on Van City.